I've been trying my hand at YouTube Live lately, and definitely learning a lot of stuff. Like the past couple videos, my video and audio have been out of sync. So I'm gonna do a traditional video this time, and because most people don't really watch those YouTube Live videos, I just did a live stream the other day. I'm doing more live streams. I'm gonna try to do a regular live stream on Sunday. But I was doing it about my live rig. So if you guys are interested about like all the pedals and stuff I use live, I did a YouTube live video. It's not as good of quality, and I don't actually record it into Ableton when I do that stuff, so the production value isn't as high. So I'll talk about it very briefly in this video. But before I do that, just want to throw out I do guitar lessons. You can find them in my video description. I just make videos about stuff that I think is fun. I'm gonna start doing more stuff for like Ableton and live looping. Also, like if I play music in like a video like this, there's a large chance I'll get copyright striked or whatever and muted. But when I do live streams, I can kind of do it in real time with you guys, and that won't happen. I'm going to try to find more live videos so that doesn't happen. But anywho, come hang out on live streams, because then I can do other stuff that I can't do in these types of videos. So the whole main point of this video is soloing over changes. How do we do it? And I'm going to be using my live rig. That's a Yamaha 2x12 cab. I don't think they make them anymore. It's a custom tie-dye grill cloth that my buddy and good friend Brian Mead did for me. Same with over there. And I'm using a Demeter Mighty Mini, and then I have a pedal board over here. There's a gearbox, Wampler gearbox, a Wampler bell, Boss harmonist, Blue Sky, Strymon Blue Sky, a Dunlop optical wah, Hotone volume pedal, HX Stomp, carbon copy, and a Polytune, and a Ditto looper. Cool. That is my pedal board. It's just a pedal train that has like a Voodoo Lab power thing in it, and I'm running at 60 watts. And I have a pretty wet plate. Alright, let's get into the actual content. So I set up a loop. I think this is a really great progression to talk about. It's a D major, B minor, A to an E. And then I do like a little sus. For any deadheads out there, it's the jam section to jackstraw. But I like this chord progression because it really makes you think, and it is a great segue to more complicated chord progressions. Like I think it's important to get if you were to start, I think doing the drone thing and being able to play melodies over like a single drone is like the foundation, and then you can move to like really simple modal stuff like kind of blue, like that jazz, kind of modal jazz or modal guitar playing, like Grateful Dead stuff. I think that's a really good foundation for getting harmony, and then kind of moving to more like that 3-chord gypsy jazz. So you can get like melodic minor and harmonic minor, and then keep building up in complexity of chord progressions. Because if you think about like D, B minor, A, it's really easy to just think like, yeah, this is an E major. But if you only stay there, you're missing out on a lot. And you could think about it as like modal, and you could be like, well, it's more like E mixolydian, so that there's that flat 7 in there, which is like captured by the D chord, right? But it doesn't need to be that complicated, really. It doesn't. And so I'll play this loop and I'll play over it, but I want to talk about some of the tones that I just naturally want to go to. My ear just gravitates towards them, and then we can talk about like where they fit in the chord progression and why, and how to start thinking about the chords so you can start playing in a different way and you can escape the pentatonic scale box. You know, we're going to be leading more into the caged territory, but I don't really want to give a label on anything. Don't think about it as like, oh, I'm doing the caged approach. We're not doing any approach. We're just like using intuition to follow sounds and chords that are just happening. And we just happen to have a label and call it caged. But if you want the label, there it is. But all right, check this out. So I'm going to play this loop. I just have a ditto looper. Right? So we got a D major, B minor, A, E, E sus, E. So it's kind of like a country rock thing, but you know, genre aside, right? If we just view it as E major, right? You're like 80% of the way there. That sounds good, doesn't it? Doesn't sound bad. Hear that note? Like when we hit the 1 on the D, I want to go. It wants to go, right? When we hit that D, why is that? What note am I hitting? I'm hitting an F sharp, and an F sharp is in the D chord. It's one of the 3, right? The 1, 3, and the 5 of a D chord. So I want to hit that, and it's in that E major scale. So the note that I want to go to, if I'm just playing an E major, sometimes will happen naturally, right? Because it's in the scale. But if we're just thinking about E major and we're not thinking about a D major chord when it happens, we're kind of missing the point. We're just being lucky, right? So what if I actually hit a D chord when the D happens? Right? I'm literally just hitting a D chord when it shows up. And then I'm just finishing with an E major lick. Kind of sounds cool, right? I even threw something that's not even in the scale there. Now, what if I do that for every single chord that happens? What just happened there? Let's talk about that. For any of my deadheads in here, or Jerry Garcia fans, or people that just like chordal harmony, did you hear what just happened? If you start arpeggiating even just the chords, and you can start turning it into a hybrid approach with the E major, suddenly you start getting all these different color tones and patterns that you wouldn't think by following a scale diagram. You wouldn't think about it. That's got to be huge. It's got to sound, I mean, if it were me listening to me doing this when I was younger, I would be blown away. I'd be like, you're doing the thing that I would always wanted to be able to do. And what am I doing? I'm literally just playing the chords, man. I'm just arpeggiating the chords in different inversions, right? So we were going, and if I were to play the top triads of those shapes, it'd be like, I'm doing the rhythm wrong, sorry. That's what I'm doing. I'm just doing a little arpeggiation. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, really simple. But then if I don't play that same, what if I play it more like, sorry, we don't hit that note. Let me do that again. Right, that's what I'm doing. I'm playing those inversions. Same exact chords, different inversions, but if I'm arpeggiating them, sorry, I have a tendency to want to put in other and do like fills and stuff, so I got to dumb it down. D, and then we go to B minor, A, E. But there's something else that I got to say, right? If we know about major and minor chords, we've talked about it before in some of those other videos, right? Like, we know that like a D major has a relative minor and it's B minor, right? So if we're playing a D major, we don't really need to go to the B minor. Or if we're playing a B minor, we don't really need to go to the D major because they're basically the same thing. I know in terms of music theory they're not, but like the colors that you're getting from them are basically the same thing. So if you're really killing yourself to get to that B minor, to the A, what if you just don't play the B minor? What if you just stay on D? And then you can take a four chord progression, D, B minor, A, E, and just think about it when you're soloing as D, A, E, right? Instead of D, B minor, A, E, because then it can be a little choppy, and we know that the D major and the B minor are like the same thing, right? A B minor at the end there, but you kind of hear what I'm saying. If you just play a D, it still has the exact same flavor as you're only changing like one note, which you can achieve, and this is what I've been trying to prevent myself from doing. You can achieve it by just doing note fills, right? Like, now when I'm soloing through the changes, you can hear the chord progression the whole time, but I'm also doing all this melodic weaving through. To me, that's the magic of Jerry Garcia. I'm definitely like an evangelical deadhead. People say Jerry was just a rambler, and I do not agree. He was one of the greatest guitar players ever. And he was a master at playing through changes. And what I'm doing here over country rock or psychedelic rock is the exact same philosophy you can do with any other genre of music. And if you can detach yourself from the hippie counterculture or whatever and just view it for what it is, this is truly American music. In my opinion, this is like the true American sound. I emphasize that any note that's in the D chord when I hit that D to an A, E, D, A, E, D, A, E. can just sit and try to play those 3 chords and weave through them like I'm doing in every inversion and try to create little bridges between them, that's how you can start playing what's in your head, or at least that's what's in my head. And I can start kind of like getting into a spiritual trance where I can just keep going forever. It just doesn't get old. You're dancing around the fretboard. You're dancing through chords. It's true melody. Like, to me, like, you know, I can't think of anything more rewarding than playing guitar like that. And so that's how I can recommend playing through the changes. So let me play a little bit more. And the way that you should, I guess, analyze or interpret how I'm playing this is I'm doing both. I'm thinking of it as weaving. I'm not going to call it caged. I'm going to call it weaving. I'm weaving through the chords, and I'm playing my, like, you know, the thing that we all have, that root kind of pentatonic comfort zone. Sorry, I get carried away, right? You cannot tell me that doesn't sound killer. Come on. It sounds so good, guys. And so that's what I was saying, like, if you hit the D in there, you're naturally going to go to that flat 7 that maybe you wouldn't if you're using just pentatonic, or maybe you wouldn't if you're just using a scale. And listen, you could do sweeps, right? I'm just hitting a D on the top 4. And then you're right there in that A. That sounds sick. Come on, on, that sounds good. Let me know, what do you guys think? Should we do a different song? I'm gonna keep this short. This is way shorter than what I've been doing on the live stream, but I want to do this stuff live with you guys, you know. And I think I fixed the delay lag. I was listening to that last video where I do live looping, and it doesn't even sound like I'm playing over the music. It sounds terrible. So at least in this, I know for a fact I'm playing in time because it's just going through a mic through a looper right there. But how fun would that be? We could like make, you know, chord progressions and solo over them or whatever. But I hope that helped. You know, if you're into this style of music, hopefully that helped you. Hopefully you thought that was interesting. If you want to learn more, hit me up. Let's do lessons, man. I'll teach you how to do all this stuff. Also, I'm having a lot of fun because I'm actually playing my real rig. If you're wondering, like, what's your tone right now? Literally all I have is the blue channel, the clon side of the Wampler gearbox cranked up, and I have a really long plate reverb going into my Demeter. That's it. It's just one drive pedal. I mean, I have my Helix with the whole thing that I've talked about, where I'm like, you know, emulating a Bassman. That's it, man. It's not very loud in the room. I mean, I'm talking into a mic. Sorry, I'm all right, I love you guys. Talk to you soon. I'm actually going to do a live thing right after this, so you won't see it, but I'll be wearing the same shirt and you'll... Anywho, see you guys.